What's up everybody, Austin here with the Evolving Tank. This week we're talking about all the money I sunk into this 400-gallon aquarium and anything I needed to get it set up. And it wasn't cheap. Let's start inside the tank with the substrate. What I have in this aquarium is black diamond blasting sand. It is completely inert and it is very cost effective. I've always preferred darker substrates and this one came in both a medium and fine grain size. What I got here is the medium grain. It comes in 50-pound bags and they were only around $10 a bag when I got it. You might not be able to tell, but there are 500 pounds of the substrate in this tank. That adds up to 10 bags and $100. A word of advice though, if you do get this substrate, just know that it comes in very dusty. I won't lie and act like I washed 500 pounds of it because I didn't. But if you do have the time to wash the substrate when you get it, your tank will start out much clearer. Next up are the rocks. What you see here in the aquarium is zebra stone. I got a good amount from a local landscaping supply store and I just really liked how it looked. I did also consider dragon stone, but that was way more expensive. And even with this stone, I ended up spending about $285, although I did end up not using all the rock, just the pieces that I felt like worked in the tank. So that brings our total to $385. Then there's the driftwood in here. I realized pretty quickly that buying driftwood like I would want out of a store could get very expensive. So instead I went on OfferUp and found somebody locally who was selling pieces that they pulled out of some local waterways. The nicest piece, the log here in the center of the tank, cost me $75. Which still feels like a lot for a piece of wood, but let me know in the comments how much you think this should cost in a local store. All the other pieces of wood I got cost between $5 and $15, so in all I spent about $135, making our total now $520. Now we'll talk about the lighting for the tank. This tank is lit up by two Fluval Planet 3.0 LED lights, the 48 to 68 inch version. And yes, that's a bunch of thread and stick-on hooks I'm using to hold them up. They've been working so far, so I've been going with them. I'll put together something a little more permanent when that time comes. They are 24/7 lights, so they ramp up to a maximum set brightness in the middle of the day and ramp down for the nighttime. And the whole schedule for the lighting is completely customizable through an app on the phone. Each of the lights cost me $229, so it's $458 for both. That brings our total to $978. Then there's the filters I have on the aquarium. Two Fluval FX6s. I went with a canister filter over something else like a sump for a few reasons. One is I knew it would be pretty quiet. I can't really hear anything from the canisters when they're under the stand, but with the sump I was kind of worried about hearing running water whenever I'm sitting around the aquarium. Although some people do say they can avoid that. Also, the canister filters are a more closed system than not all but most sumps. If the filter is where all the gunk getting filtered out of the aquarium is collected, I'd prefer it be closed in where you can't smell it or anything like that. But let me know what type of filtration you would have went with in the comments. For both of the canister filters, it cost me about $679, raising our total to $1,657. Next up, we have the canopy that sits on top of the tank. It's open in the back with the front being able to open on a hinge. It's a 15-inch canopy and of course this is where the lights we showed earlier are suspended from. It's maple wood and painted with a black satin paint. This canopy costs $1,070. So the total is now $2,727. Then there's the stand. Like the canopy, it's maple wood with black satin paint. It's 36 inches high and has doors on the front with an open back. There are all types of tutorials online for building your own stand, but with a tank this big, I was a bit nervous to trust my own work on that, especially with a tank this big for the first time. And I'm sure the wife would agree. The stand costs $1,700. Clearly I'm in the wrong business and should be building aquarium furniture for a living. And the total is now $4,427. And last but not least, the aquarium itself. This is an acrylic aquarium, not glass, so it is a lot lighter than glass would have been, although glass is much more scratch resistant. But the scratches in acrylic can actually be removed. Luckily I haven't had to deal with that yet. The aquarium is 400 gallons, 96 inches long, 36 inches wide, and 30 inches high. And I actually originally wanted a larger tank, but the wife talked me down a little bit. But who knows if something larger might be in the future. The tank itself cost about $3,900, leaving us with a grand total of $8,327. A lot of money, but I don't regret any of it. I plan on getting a lot of enjoyment out of this aquarium for many, many years. Let me know down in the comments if you think I got ripped off or if that sounds like an okay deal. And remember to subscribe for more content, but that's all I have for today. See you all next time.